Hello and welcome to the Daily Millwall for Tuesday, the 31st of December 2024, the last video of 2024. Let's go. This is from theexpress.co.uk. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Obviously, January transfer window opens tomorrow. Oh, we're already seeing on the timeline some non-league players being recalled from their loans, etc., etc. Obviously, we saw late news yesterday that Ryan Winter was being considered for a recall by Cardiff. So, here we go. We have to fight them off. We have to man the barricades and battle them back to save Tanganga and Romain Esse for Millwall. And we have to fight every day until February the 1st. And here we go. So it's not even the first day of the transfer window, but here we go. Wolves weigh up move for Championship ace to ensure survival for Vitor Pereira. I think that's their manager. Exclusive. Wolves are in the thick of a Premier League relegation scrap going into 2025. Wolves are weighing up a bid for Mill defender Japhet Tanganga in the January transfer window. The former Tottenham star has been a revelation since joining the Lions permanently in July, starting all bar 3 of them Championship games and scoring twice. Wolves have now earmarked him as one of the second-tier standout talents. Mill do not want to sell their star centre-back this winter, but Express Sport understands there is an agreement between Tanganga and the club to at least consider Premier League interest. So what does that mean? What kind of agreement? Is that a gentleman's agreement? Is that written into the thing in terms of... And what do they mean consider? So do they have to pass that on to Tanganga or what? Like if there's no... As we've seen with Romain Esse, we're being told there's a buyout clause hard written into his contract of a certain amount of money. If that isn't the same with Tanganga, like what is the agreement? So we have to at least consider Premier League interest. The London side's position means Wolves manager Vitor Pereira is unlikely to get Tanganga on the cheap as he battles to stave off relegation. Tanganga is enjoying his football at Millwall, having played a bit part role at Spurs and enjoyed a torrid loan spell at Augsburg last season. The 25-year-old is happy to see out the 24-25 season at the Den, but there is a feeling he will be at a top flight club by the start of the next campaign if his sparkling form continues. Now here's the thing. So it's not just Wolves. We'll mention Wolves in a minute. RB Leipzig, Red Bull Leipzig, the German side affiliated with Red Bull Salzburg and Leeds United, have also been tracking Tanganga, although the player would be more tempted by a return to the Premier League. And then they got quotes from Neil Harris about Tanganga and then about Wolves. Now, the thing with Wolves, they are very restricted in the amount of money that they can spend because they are very close to the limit on their PSR. It's a 3-year thing. I think they've just got to get through to the summer, and there are reports that it's around about 20 million that they can spend. Obviously, they're not going to give us 20 million for Tanganga. There are some kind of quotes going around about 8 million. I'm not sure about that. But here's the thing. Why would you want to go? Obviously, they've got the money now to give you the wages, but I mean, going forward, can they sustain that? Like, what happens if they get relegated? Now, it may be a thing. So obviously, if you go to them and they get relegated, you're back in the Championship, you're back at square one. That's not very good. So how about they pay a loan fee, and then at the end, much like Zion Fleming deal, there's an agreement to make the loan permanent with a fee attached in the summer if Wolves stay up. Now, that could be a possibility because that obviously helps them get around PSR, especially if they... I don't know what date the PSR is. I think it's towards the start, probably like June or July somewhere, not in August. So they could do it so that the deal goes through after the PSR thing. So that might be a way to get around it. But then what happens if Wolves get relegated and then he comes back from his loan because deal doesn't go through? Will the Mill fans stand for that? I mean, and here's the thing. I'm not being hyperbolic here. I think, obviously, we're struggling to score goals. The only reason we're winning games is because we're keeping clean sheets. The only reason we're keeping clean sheets is because of Japhet Tanganga. If you don't believe me, go and look at the first 3 games of the season when he was suspended. the game against Watford, the game against Bristol City, what was the score? How many goals did we concede? So, if he goes this summer, we've got to scrap and scrimp to get to the 50-point mark. We could get relegated. In fact, the only thing that might be stopping us getting relegated is that there are 3 teams worse than us in the division. So, you know. But then here's the thing: you've got people who I imagine that Steve Gallen, if you gave him some money and said buy me a centre back, that he would rate himself to buy a centre back. But remember, Japhet Tanganga wasn't his signing. His signings, what have they done so far? Not really too much. They're promising, but we can't just keep buying youngsters. We need players who are good enough to play. So giving someone money to do that, I'm not too sure. I'd rather have Tanganga until the season, and then he can go where he wants in the summer. Even then, we're gonna have problems replacing him in the summer anyway. So there you go. It's gonna be a hell of a month. Strap yourselves up. Get ready for this hell of a month. Can you imagine if you're Alex Neil as well, and you come in, and then Tanganga goes and Esse goes, and you'll be pulling your hair out. Well, you would if you had any hair, but damn, bro. So now I'm going to move on to this from millfc.co.uk, which got put up late in the evening, around about 8:30, and it's a New Year's message from James Berylson. So here we go. As we enter our club's 140th year, I'm going to be a bit pedantic. For people and institutions such as Millwall, I would say that the year when you're going, this is their 140th year or whatever, it would begin on their anniversary of their creation or their birth. So I don't think this really counts, in my opinion. I want to take a moment to reflect on the progress made and to share my optimism for the future. This year, our supporters continue to show their steadfast loyalty and dedication at the Den as well as on the road. Hearing the chants and cheers of our supporters in even the most distant stadiums adds strength and motivation to the squad. Your unwavering support is the heart and soul of Millwall Football Club, and I'm grateful for the energy and commitment you bring to every match. To our players, I thank you for your hard work and determination throughout the year. Your efforts on the pitch are the embodiment of the Millwall spirit, determined, hard-working, and always fighting for victory until the final whistle. We must continue to aim for success and improvement in every match. I also want to extend my appreciation to all the staff across the club, from the academy to the first team, from the ground staff to matchday volunteers and our dedicated administration. Every one of you plays a crucial role in providing the consistency and stability that has made Millwall successful and will keep it successful for the next 140 years. For Millwall to achieve long-term success on and off the pitch, it's vital that we continue to strengthen our foundations, developing talent, improving our infrastructure, and ensuring our operations are sustainable for years to come. Our aim for 2025 and beyond is to create a stable environment where our supporters can witness the growth of a club that is competitive, strong, and able to challenge at the highest level. This is our commitment as we continue to invest across the entire club and add value in all areas. We must remain patient, stay focused, and build with purpose. As always, at the turn of the year, we remember those who are no longer with us, my father and Matija, as well as other members of the Millwall family who have lost, remain at the forefront of my mind this evening. Thank you once again for your continued loyalty. Together we will face the challenges of the new year with optimism, determination, and the love of Millwall that unites us all. Here's to a successful 2025, both on and off the pitch. With best wishes for the year ahead, James Berylson. So there you go. He's right. If you look at the stuff that's going on around the ground, new Spitfire bar and stuff, improvements are being made. slowly, as they say, slowly catchy monkey. You got to get there slowly. That's how it goes. Now, moving on to this from southernnews.co.uk, the interview from, I believe, Millwall TV with Alex Neil, quoted verbatim. Alex Neil discusses Mill playoff chances. Mill boss Alex Neil discussed his side's playoff chances, said he wouldn't put any limitations on what he thinks they can achieve. Neil, 43, was appointed head coach on Monday and will take charge of the Lions clash with Gary Rowett's Oxford United tomorrow at the Den. 1pm kickoff. It's a 1pm kickoff. It's a 1pm kickoff. We'll get into that at the end of the video. It's also on Sky Sports Plus if you're in the UK or Ireland. The Scotsman, has achieved promotion twice in his career, albeit under different circumstances than at Millwall. I'm not going to do the accent because it's a bloody long interview and I don't think I can keep it up, to be honest with you. Hello, missus. So, here we go. What I will say is Norwich has just come down from the Premier League, so the squad was largely a Premier League squad, and Sunderland had been in the top 6 when I went in, Neil said. Obviously, we're in a different situation. What I will say, I wouldn't put any limitations on what you can achieve, because I think if you can get a good bit of momentum in the Championship, it can take you a long way. What we are looking to do is hit the ground running as quick as we can. Hopefully we can get more points added onto the board soon, and then hopefully we can enjoy the rest of the season. If that means we're up towards the top 6 and we're challenging, then brilliant. If it doesn't, as I said, we've been discussing this as a much more longer term project. When I went into Norwich and Sunderland, it was really quite straightforward. Both jobs were basically, we want promotion, and we want promotion this season. And if you didn't, that was deemed as a failure. So those jobs in that respect are slightly different. I'm not managing expectations at all, because the last thing I want to do is put a limit on aspiration. Or if we end up doing really well and we're within touching distance of the playoffs with 10 games to go, I'll be sitting here saying right now, I'll be really disappointed if we don't make the playoffs. But if with 10 games to go, we're 6 points away from the bottom end of the table, I'll be saying we need to win some of these games to make sure that we're in a good position in the league. So I don't know what it's going to look like. I think once we get a few games in, I'll have a better idea of where we are. Obviously, I've watched quite a few Millwall games, but I think we've got to come at this with a little bit of realism as well. I think our form at the moment is 1 win in 9, so it's not as if we've won 8 out of the 9 games. And you're thinking, I can see where we're going with this. We're basically slap bang in the middle of the table. So it's certainly not a disaster or anything like it, but we do need to be better in terms of results. Obviously, I'm really confident that we can have a good end to the season, and hence the reason why I'm here. I'm confident in the players that we've got. I'm confident that we'll do all the necessary work in January that's needed to make sure that the second half of the season hopefully is going to be a success for us. When asked if it would take for what it would take for Millwall to get promoted, Neil said, it'll take good recruitment, it'll take good camaraderie, good players, it'll take a good shape, it'll take momentum. So I think it's really important that when you do get a little bit of head of steam and that momentum picks up, that the players believe in what they're doing, they're confident, they enjoy what they're doing, and more importantly, you get the fans on side. And I think that fan bases don't realise the impact that they can have on a team, whether it be positive or negative. Certainly, if you can get a team playing some good football and the fans are looking forward to seeing them, then that in itself is worth a whole load of points. So that'll be the first thing that we want to try and do, get the fans excited about the team and make sure that they back them, and if they can do that, they will certainly help us. Neil also suggested potential financial differences between teams were not as important in the Championship. I think the Championship for me is one of the best leagues in the world, and the reason being is any team can beat any team on any day. Alex Neil said, Look at the results the other night. I think if you try and do a scorecard, you'd have struggled to pick some of those results. I think what it gives you is not necessarily the teams that spend the most money win every year. I think you can have success through good team spirit, through good tactics, through good players getting brought in and being smart in the transfer market rather than having to go and outspend everybody else. Now, don't get me wrong, it does give you an advantage, but I think there's other ways of doing it, and I think there's teams that have proven that year on year. So there you go. Interesting stuff. So we keep on keeping on. When we get to March, where we are, he's going to try and make a push. If we're outside the playoffs, he'll try and push for the playoffs. If we are just above relegation, he'll push to stay up. So there you go. Like I said, I think we have to wait. Obviously, he's coming in now. His first game's tomorrow at home to Gary Rout's Oxford. I think realistically, we probably need to wait until Valentine's Day. Because obviously the transfer window closes at the end of January. We know what we've got. We've got what we've got. Whether players leave, whether players come, and then we'll see what happens then. Because then it's fixed until the end of the season. We'll see what he can do. What he will be doing is working with this man. This is Martin Canning. He joins Millwall as assistant head coach. I told you about this the other day. He was the geezer that was sitting next to him at the Coventry game on the other side of James Berylson. So Martin Canning has joined Millwall as assistant head coach. The 43-year-old Scot follows Alex Neil in taking charge of the Lions' first team affairs, having worked with the new head coach before at Sunderland, Stoke City, as well as playing alongside him at Hamilton Academicals. And then they got an interview on Millwall TV Plus if you want to watch that. So it's available to all with a Millwall profile. So even though it's on Millwall TV, as long as you're logged in, you can watch it. I'm not logged in, and even if I was, I wouldn't play it for you because that wouldn't be fair. You know, it's Millwall TV's property. It's up to them to put on YouTube if they want to put it on YouTube. And it's up to you to go and watch it if you want to watch it. Now, this is a bit of an interesting thing, mildly interesting, I would say. This is from a website that I used to feature a long time ago. Then they stopped posting. I think the guy got, like, he's doing this in his spare time. He had to focus on his real job. And now he's come back, but a bit more sparingly. This is from experimental361.com, which I believe is a Substack now. So you can subscribe to it if you want. It's the 2024 table. Yes, for the calendar year. So from January the 1st, 2024, all the way to 31st. Obviously, there's no games today, was there? Was there any games today? I don't think so. There's some Welsh Premier League games and a Scottish game. So yeah, with the final league games of 2024 now complete, it's time for one of the least complex experiment on the 361 traditions, a combined calendar year table for the 92 current Premier League and EFL clubs. I've calculated a massive league table sorted in descending order of points per game, followed by goal difference and then goals scored. To keep things as fair as possible, cup and playoff games have been excluded, so it's only league games, regular league games. Clubs who were promoted or relegated in the summer have had their records from both divisions combined, including National League teams who have had their National League games added. So just those, one team, two teams have had their thing added. Points deductions haven't been included, yada, 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 yada. So, these are the best teams over the year. A lot of League One teams there. It's very. Do you remember League One? Do you remember when we used to score all those goals in League One? Fun, wasn't it? We are in 51st, which is out of 94 teams, 92 teams, 92 teams. So it didn't include the teams that got obviously relegated. So we're 51st. We played 44 games this year. How many did you go to? Not that many. How many did you watch on TV? We won 16. We drew 11. We lost 17. So losing record, just barely. We scored 40 goals and conceded 44, which gives us a goal difference of -4. So we scored less than a goal a game. We averaged 1.34 points per game. So go to that 40, the 40 goals scored next to Millwall, and let's follow that line up, and you can see we are very, very, very much a standout in scoring so few goals in the games that we have. There's only one team that's nearly as worse as us, and that's Crewe Alexandria. 49 goals scored in 44 games, but they're in 20th because they got 1.57 points per game. All of the teams in the top 20 have got like 75 goals, 85 goals, 80 goals, 74 goals. And Birmingham are in 11th with 57, but they had a relegation season at the end of last season, and they're doing well this season. So that, I guess that kind of messes up their average, but it's goals, man. Where are the goals? Where are the goals? Where are the goals? maybe this is, how we have to play in the second division of English football. In the third division, we're a big team. We can buy decent players to score goals. But in the second division, we're struggling. And we have to keep a clean sheet and hope that we can win games 1-0. Because we can't compete for the attacking talent that is of a championship standard. We've got League One quality players, arguably, up front, Are any of them proven at the championship? I guess Aziz, maybe Duncan Watmore. Duncan Watmore and Aziz proven at the championship, although Duncan Watmore was quite a while ago. Mihailo Ivanovic, not really, although he hasn't been playing that much. Emaku, not really, and they did look to loan him out to a League One team, so they probably think he's League One quality. You've got Tom Bradshaw, who certainly not championship standard anymore. He's too slow. So is he a League One player? All of our attackers seem to be of League One standard, which explains why we don't score any goals. That's a problem that needs to be addressed. Can we get someone in on loan? No, we did, obviously, and he got injured. Do we try and get another one in on loan? And then loan one of the other players out? Loan Tom Bradshaw out? Maybe even bite the bullet and loan Macaulay Langstaff out if he doesn't score soon. And get someone of a higher quality from the higher division in. I don't know. We wait to see what they do. And like I said, we have to wait until the end of the transfer window to see who's come and who's gone. But this is the table for the year. And it doesn't look that good. Now, I've got some good news and I've got some bad news. What's the good news? Well, tickets for the FA Youth Cup game away at Manchester City, which isn't in the Etihad, it's in the stadium next door, the Joey, I don't know how to, Joey Stadium. They're on sale. This is the 16th of January, which is a Thursday, it's a 7 o'clock kickoff. The good news is they're £3. It's adults £3, and then concessions £1. Over 65 is £1, and then 21 and under is £1. For some reason, they've only opened up 2 sections of the ground, which contain, they said what it was before. I think it's about 700 people. So they're not expecting a large crowd. So that's the good news. Very cheap tickets. Now, the bad news is the tickets may be cheap, but unless you have an expensive mobile phone, you will not be able to buy those tickets and use them. Yes, really. Just found out that for this season, Man City are using a mobile ticketing system. So not e-tickets where there's a ticket that exists, but it's not on paper. They can print it out for you. You can print it out for yourself, or you can, download it or get it from your email on your phone. No, this is literally a mobile ticket. It's a digital pass that can be stored within Apple Wallet or Google Pay on your smartphone or smartwatch. So you have to have an Apple Wallet or Google Pay, or you cannot get a ticket to this game. And it says here that if you have older iPhones, it won't even work. Further details on supported Apple devices. So there you go. This is literally taking the piss. Actual taking the piss. No wonder the team is struggling and the fans are turning against them. Like, stay humble, huh? Like, what are they doing? What they've basically done is sold out their fans to these companies to force their fans to buy tickets through these companies, Apple Wallet and Google Pay, and it's the service. So, no, what happened is, because you have to download these things onto your phone, these things then chore data from your phone. They will track everything you do, everything you buy through Apple Wallet or Google Pay, and then they will bundle that up and sell it to an advertiser, and then you will be bombarded with ads. And here's the thing. For the pleasure of doing that, they will then pass off some money to Man City saying, thank you very much for selling out your fans and doing this to us. And here's the thing. The FA Youth Cup game, unlike a first team game, if it was a first team game, I would imagine, I don't know, I've tried to find out what they do for first team games, but it's kind of hard because everything's kind of behind, you need to be logged in and so. I imagine they still probably print out paper tickets and give them to the away team to sell. That's the general protocol for that kind of thing. Because this is a Youth Cup game, all of the tickets are sold by the home club on their terms. So this is how it's going to have to be if you want to go to this game. Which is an absolute piss take in my opinion, you know. Like, where is the FA in this? If you go to the FA Youth Cup regulations, there's all kind of regulations about this, that, the size of the pitch, the size of the ball, the perimeter around the stands, when the games have to kick off. They have to kick off on a weekday at 7 o'clock, what grounds they can be at. All kinds of rules, but there's no rules about how the tickets are sold. Because they're basically forcing you to use these companies because they've been getting paid kickbacks from these companies. Like I said, this isn't an e-ticket where they just send you the barcode or the QR code and then, oh, it's happy days. Just go ahead. You can do it how you want. They're forcing you to do this via these technologies. You think, well, what's the problem with that? Like Apple, Google, like they're massive companies. They're everywhere. Let's say there was a different company. Let's say a company called maybe like My Banana. No, not My Guava, My Banana. It's a fictional company. I'm just making it up. My Banana. Let's say there was a football team called Shadwell FC. You remember them? They used to be big rivals with Wapping. So Shadwell FC. You seen that film? Good film. So Shadwell FC, they use My Banana to sell their tickets. And you have to have My Banana, and you have to download the tickets to get that. You have to have that thing. And the reason why you have to have it, because My Banana have given Shadwell FC a load of money in order to be the sole proprietor of tickets. How is that fair? How is that allowed? That is ridiculous. But because it's Apple, who are massive, and because it's Google, who are massive, and because it's an Android phone and an Apple phone, everybody has an Apple and Android phone. Like, who doesn't have a mobile phone these days? But if you're one of the people who don't, or if your phone gets stolen, like, you can't go to the game. You're fucked. It's like, well, it's your problem, not mine. Where's your digital pass? Oh, it's on the phone that got stolen. Oh, that's a shame. Okay. Bye. Like, this is ridiculous. Talking, like, everyone's wetting their knickers about Labour bringing in this fucking communist regulator for football. Instead of trying to dictate other certain things about what money teams can spend, how about you sort things like this out? Because this is ridiculous. First of all, they stopped taking cash. Then they started to move into e-tickets, and now they're moving to this kind of thing, where you have to use this company because they've done a deal with this company to sell tickets through them, and they get money from it. Like, this is just stinks, man. It absolutely stinks. We have to wait and see, but I'm based on what I know, and we'll find out from Millwall, because obviously this is the first time that this has been mentioned. Mill did say when the draw was made and when the date was decided, but the tickets weren't on sale yet, so we have to wait to see if on Mill's website they say anything about this, but I imagine it is what it is. Now, here's the only thing. Because it's Man City, it almost certainly will be on their TV channel City Plus, and it almost certainly will then, I imagine, be on Mill TV. So you could watch it at home, but, you know, travelling to the stadium, the Man City stadium, to watch the game, yeah, and you can't because of all this nonsense. So anyway, moving on to, if you're still here and you haven't gone away after my rant, the game tomorrow, Oxford United, 1 PM kickoff. Match passes are available because it's on a Wednesday, even though it's during the day, it is a Wednesday. Match passes are available through Mill TV, but it is on Sky Sports Plus. So this is from livesoccertv.com. And apparently, according to them, in the Great Britain and Ireland, it's on Sky Sports Plus. In the USA, it's on Paramount Plus. CBS did a deal to show some of the games, and they're showing this one. and apparently it's on Bet365 internationally. So I don't know. That's for purposes of live betting. So you probably have to have some money in your account to watch it. Or even some, you even have to have a bet, but I think it's just for live betting, really. So there you go. Now, moving on to this, matchday mascots for the game. Introducing Millwall Football Club's matchday mascots for New Year's Day fixture against Oxford United. This is from millwallfc.co.uk. Phoebe Hughes. Wednesday's Junior Lions mascot is Phoebe Hughes. Phoebe is 10 years old and sings in her school choir in Dagenham. She loves watching Millwall with her dad and also sees her uncle at the Den, and this is her 3rd season now. She likes doing judo at her local club and arts and crafts, whilst her favourite player is George Honeyman, so come on you Lions. Next up is Teddy Fox. Teddy is 9 years old and loves football, as well as playing Fortnite. Who doesn't? His favourite player is Romain Esse, and he's predicting a 2-1 win for the Lions against Oxford United. Next is Oliver Thompson, who turned 10 yesterday. Happy birthday. He's in for a very special surprise with this mascot experience and as a birthday present. Does he not know? Wow. Does he not know? That's going to be fun. He's passionate about all things football, from watching Millwall to playing FC 25 with his friends. His favourite player is Romain Esse, and he's predicting a 2-1 win for Millwall. Next up is Logan Parkin, there with a picture of Sarkic. Logan is 9 years old and he loves football and drawing. His favourite player is Billy Mitchell, and he's predicting a thrilling 3-2 win for Millwall. We hope you all have a fantastic day. Indeed, we do hope it's a fantastic day, and we do hope Millwall are going to win. But this is the historical record 11v11.com of matches between Millwall and Oxford United. Now, Oxford United are very late coming into the league. They came into the league in 1962. They replaced Accrington Stanley. Who are they? Exactly, yes. They were the team that came in. They were voted in to Division 4 to replace Accrington Stanley. And Division 4 is where we first played them in 1965 in January. That was a draw. Since then, we haven't lost that many times to them, but bizarrely, recently we have. So the first defeat was after 4 games. The 5th game was a defeat, August 1970, a 2-1 defeat. It's not a game we especially smashed them in. It's, there are a few goals here and there. 1973 was a 3-1 win. 1980 was a 3-0 win. Bizarrely, the 2 games in the cup, the first 2 games at home in the cup we played them, October 1981 was 3-3 in the League Cup, and in 1996, January in the FA Cup was a 3-3 as well. Kind of weird. We lost in the league to them 7th of November 1990, a 2-1 defeat. What else have we got? Yeah, and again, so we haven't played them for a while, but the last 3 games at home to Oxford United have been defeats. And they have been progressive defeats in terms of, in 2003, it was a 1-0 defeat in the League Cup. Okay, these things happen. A while later, in 2016, at home, January 2016, in the Johnson's Plate Trophy, 2-0. Okay. The year later, April 2017, League One, 3-0 defeat. Oh, that's kind of weird. 1-0 defeat, 2-0 defeat, 3-0 defeat. Is it going to be a 4-0 defeat tomorrow? Fucking hell, I hope not. It might be. I don't know if the players go out on New Year's Eve. They have, they might come on. You know what happened in that Rotherham game at the start of the season, If they all come in hungover. Although, to be fair, I don't think Wayne Rooney's not our manager, so I don't think that's going to be happening. But, our biggest ever win against them was a 5-0 in September 2000, 5-0 win. Biggest ever defeat was that 3-0. So the last game we played them was our worst ever defeat, a 3-0 defeat. So that certainly needs to be avenged. That was a while ago, though, 2017. I think that was the last time, I believe, we were in League One. So we got promoted that season, I think. Or maybe the season after, because maybe they got relegated. And we haven't seen each other since until, coming up now. Obviously, we played away this season, and that was a 1-1. Which, a lot of fans got upset about that we went to Oxford and drew 1-1. Because they feel that this is a game we should win. And certainly at home it is a game we should win, but we haven't won in the last 3. But we're at a different level now. They're at the same level they were. They've resorted to hiring, a decent manager at this level, proven manager at this level, and Gary Rowett. So I wonder what he's going to do tomorrow. Well, I think he's going to park the bus. We know how Gary Rowett plays. He's going to park the bus and keep it tight. And he's probably going to be playing for a 0-0 draw. He's probably going to do what we tried to do at Coventry, in that we're going to kill the game and try and play for a 0-0. And that's what he's going to do. So, moving on to this from WhoScored.com. As already seen, they've got 5 games here and not 6. The last 5 games, 2 wins for us, 3 wins for them, no draws. So maybe it's time for a draw, I don't know. 6 goals for us in those games and 6 goals for them. So there you go. This is where we are in the table at the moment. We're 13th, they're 20th. They've lost 11 games. They have won 6. Now, everyone's pointing at the magical turnaround by Gary Rowett, but. Let me qualify that. As I mentioned the other day, a bit of a piss take. They've had both of their games at home over Christmas on Boxing Day. Cardiff 3-2, they beat them. And Plymouth 2-0, they beat them. Both of those teams are in the relegation zone. So they had home matches against the worst teams in the division, and they beat both of those teams. Aha. So that's the turnaround. Gary Rowett hasn't had a away game yet. He's got his first away game tomorrow, and in my opinion, he was a decent manager for Millwall. For some reason, the fans don't like him. They turned against him. I don't know why, but I think he's going to get a bit of booze tomorrow. Maybe he's going to get a mix. He's going to get a mix of this and that. I think he'll get cheered. Well, not cheered, but, politely clapped at the start of the game or before the game. And then after that, he's probably going to get dog's abuse. So that'll be fun. So there you go. So that's their home form. So let's have a look at home. As we can see, they're the 8th best team in home, which suggests that their away form is dog shit. But we'll look at that in a minute. Our home form is 1-6, drawn 2, lost 4, scoring 14, conceding 9. So at home, even though we were struggling to score goals, at home we have scored more goals than games, 14 in 12. So at home, we do it. We can do it at home. We've got a positive goal difference at home, a +5. Let's have a look at Oxford's away form. Oh, they haven't won an away game all season. That's kind of worrying as well, because obviously they got a new manager. That's probably part of the reason why they got a new manager. Is it gonna happen tomorrow? I bloody hope not. I certainly do hope not. But there we go. They are not bottom, but 1 from bottom. They've only got 2. Not only have they not won an away game all season, they've only got 2 points away all season. One of that was away at Portsmouth, 6 games ago. They've only scored 7 away goals, and they've conceded 22. How are we not winning this game? The only reason we won't be winning this game, if we don't, is Gary Rowett. So we'll see. What I would like to see, so obviously Alex Neil's come in and he said he's not going to be making radical changes to start with. He's going to be basically letting Livermore basically pick the players and for this game and the next game, and then we'll see. What I would like to see is if Livermore picks the team and we go out in the first half and it's a bit shit, Alex Neil, if he makes the adjustments and if he does the team talk and then we go out in the second half and we absolutely steamroll him, If he says, okay, you move here, and he does this, does that, maybe even makes a sub or two. If we see that, then I'm going to be very impressed. Because obviously he doesn't really know. He hasn't been there that long. I think they've done one training session, probably that. But obviously, if he's at the game, he's in the change room, he's seeing the players, he's seeing, he's seeing what Livermore's doing. But if he sees how they play in the first half and sees what they do, and then he changes it and we improve, I'll be very impressed. I will be very impressed. So, let's have a look. These are Mill's last 6 home games and Oxford's last 6 away games. And in fact, as you can see, so they've only got 2 points away on the road all season. The last time they scored was when they got that point away in Portsmouth in October. In every single away game since then, to be fair, some very good teams, but also a very poor team that's kind of improving, QPR, so they probably played them at the wrong time. They failed to score at Sunderland, they failed to score at Watford, they failed to score at Sheffield United, they failed to score at QPR, and they failed to score at Leeds. And they've conceded 4 goals at Leeds, 3 goals at Sheffield United, 2 at QPR, 1 at Watford, 2 at Sunderland. So they haven't kept a clean sheet. If we can... Okay, so there you go. Now, Mill, obviously we know Mill binary, 1-0, 1-0, 1-1, 0-1, 0-1, 1-0. We kept a clean sheet in our last game, which is the first clean sheet in 3 games, which helped us to win the game by 1-0, although we had to wait again right at the end of the game. We had to wait until the sub came on, and he came on, and we were gunning for it right at the end of the game, because the opposition thinking, just defend, defend, defend. We've got a point, defend the point. And they couldn't defend it. We come on and we got them. Before that, we lost 1-0 against Sheffield United, 1-0 against Coventry, drew 1-1 with Sunderland, beat Leeds 1-0 and beat Burnley 1-0. So the clean sheet is imperative because we can't score more than 1 goal. But having seen Oxford's away form, although be it this is under a different manager, can we score more than 1 against them? Hopefully we can. Here are the strengths and weaknesses. Obviously, one of Oxford's strengths is creating long shot opportunities, and we saw that in the away game where their goal was scored. That was a very good goal from long shot. Weaknesses, etc., etc., and style, etc., etc. So let's get into the predictions then. What do they think is going to be the score? Match facts first. There have been under 2.5 goals scored in 15 of Mill's last 16 championship games. Oxford have kept a clean sheet in their last 3 away matches against Millwall in all competitions. Yeah, but that was a long time ago. Oxford have won their last 3 away matches against Millwall in all competitions. Indeed. Millwall frustrated Coventry on their own patch on Sunday as the 2 sides played out a goalless draw in the West Midlands. That result will do little to boost the spirits at the Den, with David Livermore's sides winless in back-to-back championship matches heading into the first game of 2025. So obviously this must have been written before Alex Neil was appointed yesterday. Garrett has made an immediate impact at the Kassam Stadium since replacing Des Buckingham, and the U's are in complete control as they cruise to a 2-0 win against Plymouth on Sunday. Well, seeing what's come out about Wayne Rooney since then, no surprise, and he's agreed to leave rather than getting sacked, so he's gone. Consecutive league wins have boosted Oxford United out of the relegation zone, 3 points clear of 22nd place Cardiff. Well, like I said, their 2 home wins over Christmas were against teams in the relegation places. But they say, even though they do say Millwall won, Oxford won. If we draw at home to Oxford, I will be very disappointed. Very, very disappointed. Unless we get the team sheet at, would it be 12 o'clock, and we find out there's even more flu has gone through the team, and there's even more players missing, and we've got under 18 players on the bench. So unless there's really, really extenuating circumstances, a draw at home to Oxford, it's not good enough. I'll be absolutely gutted if we draw to them. Absolutely gutted. Now, let's move on to this. This is from sportsmole.co.uk. It's their prediction, team news and lineups. Gary Rowett will look to continue his perfect start as Oxford United boss when he faces his former employers Millwall in a New Year's Day clash at the Den. Meanwhile, Alex Neil will take charge of his first game as Millwall boss after officially being appointed. Neil has his successor on Monday. Mill will begin the new year under new management after the club confirmed the appointment of Neil on a long-term contract for 3 years, representing the 43-year-old's first job since leaving Stoke City in December 2023. Prior to his unveiling, Neil was in the stands at the CBS Arena to watch the Lions play out a goalless draw in Sunday's away clash with Coventry City, leaving Millwall with just one win from their last 9 matches. The former Preston North End boss will take over a team that's sitting in 13th place with 29 points for 23 championship games. Neil will kick off his Millwall tenure at the Den with the hosts looking to claim back-to-back home wins after recording a narrow 1-0 win in their most recent home outing on December the 21st against Blackburn Rovers. The Lions can certainly draw inspiration from the fact that they have won each of their last 4 league games that have taken place on New Year's Day. Oh, that's nice, including a 1-0 victory over Bristol City at the start of 2024. Well, I've said before, runs need to end. We're on a 4-game run of winning on New Year's Day. 4 years, so 4 years in a row, we've won on New Year's Day. Can we make it 5? Can we? It's got to end sometime. So if it don't end, it's got to end sometime. However, the away team on the day has won each of their previous 4 league meetings between these two sides since Millwall recorded a 5-0 win against Oxford in September 2000. They haven't won the previous 4 league meetings because one of the previous league meetings was literally a month ago in a 1-1 draw. Buckingham was dismissed after overseeing just 1 win in 16 matches, leaving the U's in the Championship relegation zone. The Oxford board decided to turn to the experience of Rowett, who took charge after interim boss Craig Short had overseen a heavy 4-0 away defeat against promotion-chasing Leeds United. Rowett wasted little time in making an impact, guiding the U's to a 3-2 Boxing Day win over Cardiff City to end the club's 7-game winless run. Oxford enjoyed another successful outing in their final match of 2024 against relegation rivals Plymouth Argyle, with Kieran Brown and Placheta netting a brace via their side to a 2-0 victory, moving the U's 3 points clear of the danger zone. After beginning his tenure with consecutive home victories, Rowett now has the tough task of leading Oxford to their first away win of the season, having taken over a side that have drawn 2 and lost 8 of their last 10 championship road trips. Team news. The hosts will be without the injured quartet of Josh Coburn, Callum Scanlon, Jake Cooper and Daniel Kelly. Defender Danny McNamara will miss a 4th consecutive game after picking up a PCL injury against Middlesbrough on December the 14th. Adomo Maki is unlikely to be involved after he sat out the draw against Coventry with an injury that he sustained in Boxing Day. Well, we now know he's out till March. As for the visitors, they are still unable to call upon defender Ben Nielsen and forward Max Voldman due to injury. Joe Bennett remains sidelined with an ankle problem, although the fullback could return to action later in January. Rowett could be tempted to select the same lineup that he has used for his first 2 matches, despite the fact that the games are coming thick and fast at this stage of the season. That's another thing. In terms of, we think we've got problems with depth squad or squad depth. What do they have? Probably about the same. And they say Millwall 1, Oxford 1. Oxford have enjoyed the benefits of the new manager bounce, having recorded back-to-back home wins in Rowett's first 2 matches in charge. However, the U's will now face a Millwall side who will be hoping to experience their own management bounce, and with that in mind, we think that the visitors will have to settle for a share of the spoils in Wednesday's away clash. No. So both of them have gone with 1-1. No. It's not going to be 1-1. Like I said, it's Gary Rowett. We know what he does. He's going to play for a 0-0 draw. So then can we break them down and get the goal? Probably, but like I said, I think what I'm hoping is that it's probably dog shit for the first half, 0-0. You know, we're struggling to break them down as they park the bus. We make changes, or Alex Neil makes the changes himself, and then we get to see what he can do. Oh, he's a good manager. Okay, lovely jubbly. And then we end up scoring maybe 1 or 2. Maybe we score one, then they have to come out and try and get a goal, and then we hit them again. So probably you're just bog standard Mill 2, Oxford 0. That's what I'm going to go with. Mill 2, Oxford 0. Is that an unreasonable score? Has that happened before? That's happened loads of times, isn't it? There's a 2-0 there. There's a 2-0 there. 2-1. There's a lot of 2-1s. What hasn't? Oh, there's only been 2-2-0s. Okay. Has there actually been a 1-1? There hasn't been a 1-1 at the Den, as far as I can see. Nope. Just a crazy 3-3s. 0-0 draw. Or loads of 0-0 draws. So, like I said, Gary Rat's probably coming for the 0-0. There's been 3 0-0 draws, 2-2 draw, 3-3 draw, 2-2 draw, 3-3 draw. So a 1-1 draw has never happened between Millwall and Oxford United at the Den. There's a few 2-0s. Have we ever played them on a holiday? Let's go through the dates. 1st of April, April Fool's Day, although that's not officially recognised holiday. 20th of December, close to a holiday, we won that 2-1. 31st of January, no. So we haven't really played them during the festive holiday period. We played them, obviously, the FA Cup third round, 6th of January 1996. That was a 3-3 draw. But yeah, I'm going to go for 2-0 to Millwall. So there you go. And on that note, thank you for watching and goodbye.